So, midlife thriving Phoenix, does it ever feel like your life is finally quieter on the outside, but way too loud on the inside? Like the crisis has passed, the checklist has eased, the house is quieter, but your mind doesn't stop racing. So if that's you, I want you to know something important. You're not broken. You're not crazy. You're in a very normal part of the threshold of going from the burn down to the rising to the thriving. So, welcome to Rising Phoenix with Rose. I'm Rose Mulroney, and I guide women in midlife through grief, through transition, and through identity shifts using my Phoenix Change archetypes system. And over these 5 weeks, we're in week 2, we're walking through what does this Phoenix Change journey look like from lost to rising, to finding your vision, to plotting your course, to thriving in what your heart has for you and living from the overflow of the heart. Last week, we named this threshold, and this week, we're going to talk about what happens inside when the quiet gets too loud. So, many women come to me and say, Rose, I thought things would feel calmer now. The worst is over. So why does my mind feel like it's spinning out of control? I know my mind has moments where it doesn't stop, right? Here's what's actually happening. After years of survival, your nervous system has been trained to stay in high alert. So because you've been managing crisis, because you've been holding others, anticipating all their needs, keeping everything together, your body learned to live in this fight or flight mode because there was no other choice. But now that the external pressure has eased, your inner world is finally asking to be heard, finally has a moment to get your attention. So all the thoughts, all the feelings and questions that you didn't have time to process, that I admittedly didn't have space to hear, to listen to, those are rising to the surface. That's part of the rise. So this is not a sign that something is wrong with you. This is not a sign that your system, but this is a sign that your system is finally safe enough to let everything, to let everyone, if you will, come up, to let every voice be heard. So you want to think of it like this. When you're in survival mode, your body doesn't have the luxury of processing grief, fear, or confusion. You just keep going. But when the danger passes, when the worst is over, when the bottom has finally fallen out, your body finally says, okay, we're safe now. We can feel everything that we've been holding. And that's why the quiet feels so loud. It's not that your life is worse now. It's not that your life is worse now. It's that you're finally safe enough to feel what was always there. So let's name what this inner noise actually feels like in your body and your daily life. Because when you can name it, you can stop fighting with it. So your mind is racing, your thoughts are looping. You may be second guessing every decision. You wonder if you've made the right choices. You replay conversations, moments, paths that you've taken, maybe regrets that you're having. You ask yourself, did I do the right thing? Should I have done something differently? What if I'm making a mistake? Who am I without the role that defined me? And underneath all of that, there's a deeper question. Am I safe? Am I enough? Am I going to be okay, right? This is your nervous system This is my nervous system trying to recalibrate. It's been so long, remember, since you've had the space just to feel, just to be, just to process. So now that you have that space, it's all coming up at once. And here's what I want you to know. This is not a setback. This is not proof that you're failing. This is not proof that anything is wrong. Hear that. This is your body and your heart finally catching up to where you are. You're not falling apart. You're falling back into yourself. Remember, we're moving through loss to rising to thriving. And that comes from within, and then that reflects without. So, what do you do when the inner noise feels overwhelming, right? Because that's really at the heart of this. Like, what do I do? This is overwhelming. It can be very overwhelming for me. But know that you don't have to fix it. You don't have to make it stop. What you do need to do is come back to yourself. So here's a simple practice that you can use anytime this week when the noise feels too loud. So just take a moment to breathe into the center of your being. Place one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. Take some deep, slow breaths in as if you're receiving a message from the light itself, knowing and tapping into the light within you. And then ask yourself, what do I need right now that I have not been giving myself? What do you need right now that you feel we haven't been giving you? And that's it. You're not trying to fix anything. You're simply practicing coming back to yourself. And here's what happens when I do this regularly. My nervous system starts to learn that I'm safe. My thoughts begin to slow down. And my body begins to trust that I'm here for it. I'm not fighting against it. And so as I say this and speak about what I've experienced, I believe the same is true for you. So slowly, but ever so surely, the quiet starts to feel less like loneliness, like something is wrongness, and more like a place where I can finally hear myself again, where you can finally hear yourself again. So this is not about achieving perfect peace. It is about practicing presence, one breath at a time, and acknowledging whatever comes up. So thank you for being here with me once again today. If this resonated, you're not alone. This is part 2 of our 5-week journey through the Phoenix Change archetypes. Next week, we're going to talk about the first spark of seeing possibility, real possibility again. That moment when hope begins to return and you start to see a new future from exactly where you are. So if you're curious on where you are in this journey, I have created a short quiz. It's the Phoenix Change quiz. You can find that at phoenixchangequiz.com. I invite you to go there and take it. If you want to know more about diving into this work together, you can go to midlifethrivingphoenix.com. And please do me a favor and share and like this video. Thriving Phoenix, blessings to you.